Scorpio, hello. Welcome to your general reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Ascending. This is for November 2020. If you don't know what your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Ascending are, well, your Sun is obviously Scorpio because it's your zodiac sign. But if there's trouble with communication, maybe with love, communication, you can look at your Mercury, Venus, you can look at your love. There's a link down below in the description that says free natal chart if you don't know where those are. So if this reading doesn't resonate, you can look at those ones as well. And then, you get a beautiful reading for you together there. Let's see what we got for you. Thank you for all your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful support. Like, share, comments, subscriptions, donations via PayPal. Thank you so much for all of that. For those of you that don't know me, or if it's your first time to the channel, welcome. My name is Adrian. I'm an intuitive healer. I practice holistic wellness. I'm also a spiritual regression hypnosis practitioner. And I believe in doing all things with love. All right, let's see what we got for you. If any of you want beautiful graphic design work done or social media management, you can look down below in the description for the link for my friend who does all my beautiful work. It says AC Digital Marketing Solutions. Okay, there we go. All right, so looking at the recent past. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Alrighty. This is rocking. This is rocking. Overall energy, I'm using the OSHO Zen Tarot deck. Quite a magical deck. I haven't used it in probably months. Not for readings, not for Facebook Lives, not for Instagram, not for private clients, nothing. But I feel now is the time. So here we are. Aloneness. Okay. Overall energy for you where you currently are. And I feel that for some of you, are spreading yourself so thin that you sort of lost touch with yourself there, and you're getting, it's like you rebuilding the relationship that you have with yourself, the emotional relationship that you have with yourself. Many of you have taken many knocks in this life, been feeling very sort of out of sorts, and I feel that for many of you, you're in the space where you are really asking yourself this very profound question. What do I really want? What do I want? What do I actually want? Okay? What emotional feeling is it that I want to have? And I feel that the light is beginning to shine through. Some of you have been in very toxic sort of cycles with other people, but also with yourself. Okay, and it's like you're beginning to see the flaws of your ways. You're really getting your stuff together. Yeah, and I mean, what happens so easily sometimes is that we can be so there for everybody else, but we forget about ourselves. Okay, and it's almost like a centering that's taking place in your life at the moment. I feel for many of you. We're going to clarify that card for you a little bit later on. Let's just look at the recent past. So what brought you to where you are, where you currently are, and what's coming towards you. Awareness. This is about, you see that sort of breaking free, that breaking through, that rebirth from the phantom. For many of you, you realize that things weren't working for the longest time. Things were not working. You were trying your best, but they weren't working. There were too many shadows around. And it's like a rebirth sort of taking place there. Like that, almost like that spiritual awakening sort of vibe. That sense of rebirth coming out of that dark sort of tunnel. All right. And then you've got change there happening really fast. Really beautiful, very fast. End of very toxic cycles, and it's like everybody can actually see it. For many of you, you may actually experience that, for some time over there, things were getting better, but they might have also kind of been sort of at their worst, at the lowest points than many of you would have been before. But it's like life was highlighting to you what are the things that are not balanced, that are not in your flow, that is not true to who you are. A lot of those things really started to step forward into the foreground, in the forefront. And with silence there, you really had to decide what it is that you're going to do about it. You know, I feel that for many of you, especially those of you, you know, sort of in relationships, it could be a business relationship, it could be a romantic relationship, you know, with the people that you're staying with, whatever the case may be, child and parent, parent and child, you know, that sort of setups. You've really been thinking about things, you know, whereas before you might have just tried to find the happy solution or the flowing solution. You really started to think about things. You really started to look at things. You really started to observe things, and not so much through rose-tinted glasses, but for what they actually are, you know. And I feel within this chaos, a lot of you are finding a lot of inner peace, actually, which is amazing. You know, there's a sense of finding your life purpose, that realizing how important you are, realizing how you may have sacrificed a great part of your true sort of, you know, purpose and, you know, importance for the sake of others. And so where you currently are, let's just lift this up. It says projections, and it says abundance, and it says existence. Okay. And what's coming towards you, where you're going towards: control, fighting, and understanding. I feel that first of all, many of you are getting to, you're sort of there at the moment, but you're more moving towards it, where you're sort of realizing that a lot of things that happened to you, a lot of the experiences that you had in your life, was really sort of you bringing yourself to those sort of, like, you know, unsavory sort of experiences because you wanted to break free, you wanted to get out of it. But then, of course, your heart was very good and you always wanted to help everybody. And, you know, you kind of, for, you know, you would be on the good path and off the path, and on the path and off the path. So what we do sometimes is we bring ourselves to such a sort of dark point, almost dark spot sometimes, that you can't deny the fact that this is not what you want. This doesn't honor who you are. This doesn't value your, you know, your truth, your value as a soul having a human being experience. So what I feel is generally for, you know, for most of you, is there was sort of a space where you were in this loop again, you know, in this sort of ongoing loop of the drama, of the drama, of the drama. It's not going well. People are all telling you that, you know, or acting like you're the one to blame, that you're not this nice person, you know, all these things that people always have to say about Scorpios. You know, that you were sort of like the bad guy in the situation. And I feel that for some of you, you were really getting to the thought of, like, you know what, if I'm the bad guy, I'm going to stop trying to sort of be the one that, you know, that brings things together here, that always does my best. I'm just sort of going to rise above the situation. And this is almost like that inner instinct sense that a person begins to get. Like, you know, they always say that an eagle has when the storm's about to come. You sort of elevate above it, so that you don't feel, you sort of elevate above the storm, above other people's stuff. Is this actually my stuff, or is it not my stuff? And if it's not my stuff, I'm going to elevate above it. So you sort of, I feel for some of you, you may have started gardening or meditating or just thinking, maybe just kind of like taking a walk and thinking, you know, or you may be driving, listen to a different sort of music perhaps. But your mind really, it's like you started to look at some of your thoughts, and some of you really looked at your thoughts and you started to go like, my thoughts are very dark. You know, they are very, very dark. They don't really help me. And what happens sometimes is, because you're a water sign, you know, you can absorb other people's sort of emotions and their feelings, and you can absorb those really sort of dark feelings that they have sometimes, but then, you know, instead of actually just transmuting it to light, it sort of gets stuck inside of you, and then you end up having a lot of really depressing and oppressing sort of situations and circumstances and problems that seems like they're all yours, but this is really you absorbing other people's negative energy, sponging that up. How the one thing that you maybe really want to do, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. I apologize. biting my lips over there. Seasons are changing. I live in the beautiful Cape Town of South Africa, and summer's coming outside, so the weather's getting drier and my lips are actually cracking, so sorry about that. Okay. But you're really going into the space where you're beginning to see how you're projecting other people's, emotions sometimes, how they may sometimes call you the dark one, but you are really mirroring to them the darkness that is already within them. When I say the darkness in them, I mean the things that are not working inside their lives. So a very good thing for you to do at the moment actually is to practice how to safeguard your aura, okay? Your energy field around you, how to safeguard that. Maybe carry some black tourmaline with you, black tourmaline. I think I've got some, there we go. Piece of black tourmaline crystals. They're quite easy to find generally. Carry a piece of black tourmaline with you in your pocket, or even next to your bed if you sleep sometimes. Just the energy might be very, very strong sometimes. So if you feel that the energy of the black tourmaline is overwhelming, maybe just move it away a little bit for you, because you can still keep it in the lounge and sleep in the bedroom, and it's still going to do a beautiful work for you. And so many of you are beginning to see how a lot of the energy that you are taking on, and the sort of bad luck, that you might have been having, were actually other people's energy that you absorbed within yourself, and you're beginning to release that, okay? And so for you, where you are at the moment, as the emotions are coming up and as the feelings are coming up, and those sort of dark thoughts come up sometimes, allow yourself to feel them so they can flow through you. Okay, so that because a lot of that energy is stuck within you, so allow yourself to feel it so that it can flow through you, so that the wisdom and the truth and the authenticity of who you are, so you can begin to see it, so that light in your heart can actually begin to switch on. Okay, you're at the beautiful seat of creation. For many of you, you may feel at the moment that that life is just not working out. It's just not working out, but what's actually happening is that you're busy going to that very strong sort of awakening, where you're really getting such clarity about what it is that doesn't define you anymore. Okay, and then coming towards you, there's a sense of wanting to be in control again. It's almost like your mind is rebelling against all of this. There's a lot of voices that are shouting towards you. This could be the voices of your childhood traumas, a lot of the nasty things that people maybe said to you, that are reminding you of sort of like the ugly that you are. All right, and there's a bit of a battle there happening, almost like between light and dark. Like good and evil, if you want to call it like that, of what people are saying about you and who you are. And but then in the same token, it's like the dark night of the soul. You go to this very dark space just to realize that this is not who you choose to be. And I feel that for many of you, you're getting this, you're reconnecting with your soul family, with your true tribe, which could be just very spiritual, or it can also be, as we do that, that the right things start to come our way. Things start to work out. The job starts to work out. The romance starts to work out. And as I always say, when it says the romance is starting to work out, it might mean that the relationship that you have with this person has to come to an end, because you realize that this is not really healthy for you. Now remember, this is a general reading, so if it resonates with you, fantastic, and if it doesn't, don't try to push it. Don't try to fit it. If you are especially concerned about something with love, check out where your Venus is at and look at that reading maybe, okay? But for many of you, you are beginning to see how the solution was always there. But for many of you, you were sort of like in the savior mode. You were saving everything and everyone, and like poop, 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 come through hero type of vibe. And so, and this is not the nicest thing to say, but it's an honest thing, and I feel that I should help you, or be honest with you at least for what's coming up. Some of you wanted to be heroes. You wanted to be the shining sort of hero, you know, that sort of saves the day, you know, sweeps through with the solution sort of thing. And you're beginning to see that in many ways that is why a lot of people, you know, why their energy was able to be absorbed by yours, why they would come to you with their stuff. Because, you know, for many of you, in order to try and keep that control, you had that sort of savior mentality thing going on. And you're realizing that, you know, I'm just going to focus on myself now. This is what's coming towards you. Focusing on the self, focusing on you, on your life, what's working out for you, what defines you, you know. Things coming towards you and asking yourself, is this a true reflection of myself? Does this honor me, you know, my value, my worth, my you know, a person? Does this value me? You know, does this respect me? And I feel that for many of you, a lot of times the answer is going to be no. And so, you know what, I'm just going to release this with love. I'm just going to let it go. I'm not going to choose to believe what they are saying or what they said. I'm no longer going to allow those words and those intentions to bring me down. Okay? What is my truth about me? Okay? How do I shine? And as you do that, that is how you align with the energy of abundance. And that is how you start to change the game. Because now, it is like reprogramming your mind, your beliefs about yourself, you know. Because a lot of us, as we grow up, you know, as children, and even just the world, it says so many things to us, you know, based on, you know, the way that you look or where you're from, or, you know, that you may be not intelligent enough or artistic enough or fast enough or too fast, you know. And so for many of you, you're beginning to see that all the chatter that sort of like, you know, constantly goes on, all those open tabs in the mind, you're like, you know, close, 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 close. Okay? This is almost like saying, okay, close all tabs, update the PC, and let's start over. Let's begin, you know, over. Let's get a new Google Sheet. What are we putting in here? The search history has been deleted. And how do I choose to go from here? And I feel for many of you, there's powerful new beginnings. Now, sorry, there is the mind that says, you know what, no. It's like the mind is, in a sense, almost throwing tantrums, like a small child throwing, you know, toys out of a car. No, how dare you? How dare you wanting to strive to be more? You know, what makes you think that, you know, that you can do that? And a lot of times, there is the voice in our mind holding us back, you know. And I feel that for some of you, you might even go into a space where you become very angry with yourself for how you've been holding yourself back before, how you've been sort of listening to these voices in your mind without not even being, you know, aware of it sometimes, and how they've been holding you back. No need to be mad with yourself, because it is also in that powerfully seeing who you are not that you also begin to see who you actually are. All right. The magic actually lies within the contradiction. And I know that for many of you may feel that you've wasted quite a lot of time, you know, of your life. But when you think about it, you know, at least when you begin to see the light now, you won't be wasting any more time. Whereas imagine if for the next 5 to 10 years, you still didn't see how you were actually holding yourself back. You know what I'm saying? Let's clarify this aloneness where you currently are. Ooh. Okay, alrighty. Powerful stuff. Wow. This is powerful. So we've got the Devil. We've got the King of Wands. And the Devil is all about seeing how are those things in life that we're holding ourselves back. You know, how is it that you keep yourself from the flow of energy, of power, of abundance? There's a beautiful realignment with abundance. The Empress, it's coming. It's coming. Unfolding. Isn't this a nice positive reading, eh? Wow, I like that. Let's see. And the Six of Wands. Your hard work is paying off. Bottom of the deck, Eight of Swords. Top of the deck, Strength card. Okay? Getting yourself out of those sticky situations. Some of you thought your life is never going to be more than what it is right now. You thought this was it. This is the end. This is it. Here we are, end of the road. Nope, 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 no. You're beginning to see how in some ways you are actually holding yourself back, how you've held yourself back. All right? Those thoughts, those beliefs. Some of you are dragging the past with you, but you're also busy letting it go. Because you're realizing that, okay, maybe they didn't believe in me. You know, maybe they did some wrong things to me. But also what I love is that many of you are seeing that a lot of the reasons why your life isn't working out is because of yourself. And that's powerful. That's healing. Okay? The relationship that you're getting with life, which is you, it is beautifully expanding. You're getting control of those emotions. There we go with the loneliness. Okay? The things that were making you feel quite bad about yourself, quite bad about life. You're getting a hold on those things. You're getting to see the flaws. You're getting to see how, you know, maybe from the goodness of your heart, you have been allowing certain things which really wasn't that healthy to allow. Okay? Empress. Getting your power back, your flow back, your energy back, this is like an inner energy, that the inner true power of who we are, you know, that unified energy, heart, mind, you know, body, what do they call it, mind, body, soul, mind, body, spirit. That is that flow that you are getting, and it expands to all areas of your life. It's busy happening for you right now. Okay, it's a bit of a, you know, tedious process. It feels quite hurtful, but you're making good progress there with the Six of Wands. Beautiful, beautiful progress. Let's see what we've got for you with the Moonology cards. And if it resonates, you're more than welcome to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Remember, if you subscribe, to hit that all button, that notification button. Those are two. Actually, let's just take them all. What are they? So 3 cards. Ah, look at this. Gibbous Moon. You are very close to achieving your goal. And sometimes when we're very close to achieving our goal, it feels like it's never going to happen. Okay? You're very close to achieving your goal, and so it is. New Moon in Leo. Confidence is your key to success. Confidence is your key to success. North Node. Step out of your comfort zone. Step out of your comfort zone, you know. Give life a chance. Let's get you one more card. Let's get you one more, and we'll end off your reading with that. For you, my beautiful Scorpios. What is falling out? Full Moon in Aries. A fiery climax is approaching. Remember, as I was saying, coming towards you, there is still that mind, that sort of like, it's almost a reminder what life and people saying to you, but no, this is not you. You shouldn't be doing this. Like, who do you think you are? And you're like, I think I'm a Scorpio. And I've got the power and the energy in life to achieve whatever it is that I want to achieve. And so it is. Namaste. Love and light.